Today's floral design is inspired by the name of the polish by ND Lacquers called Hyacinth. This is the blue polish, and for today's design you'll need your regular supplies along with a really good thin art brush and a makeup sponge for the gradient look. This design would be great with the gradient the way I have it here, but I did want kind of a textured look, so I take the polish and I just drag it down my nail similar to the waterfall technique. I'll include a link below to my gradient tutorial for you so that you have that as well. And if I could go back in time, I would have left it as the gradient because I did like the smoother look, but I still like this, and when it's all said and done with the top coat, it does look quite nice. For the hyacinth, I'm just creating the base for that flower across my accent nail. I'm dabbing on my polish with my thin art brush. I'm leaving it thicker in some areas, thinner in others, just to add to the depth of this flower. I have to admit, I had to look up what a hyacinth flower looks like because I don't have a clue. I also had to look up how to pronounce it because I also didn't have a clue. I am not a gardener and I do not have a green thumb. For this next step, you're going to take your thin art brush and create these little star patterns on your nail. It's okay if they overlap, they don't have to be perfect. Everything smooths out quite nicely as well when you add that top coat. You can always go back and add some more as well once you add the highlights to each of these little flowerets. And so I would rather not have enough and have to add more than have too many and ruin the design. For the next step, I'm just using my thin art brush, a little bit of white polish, and I'm highlighting those little star shapes that I've added, and some of them, like I said, will overlap. Using my same thin art brush, I'm just adding small green dots to the center of those flowers. The next step is to add the greenery, so I'm going to add some leaves on either side of the hyacinth, and I'm just using my thin art brush and putting kind of a curved line on my nail, and I try to make it a little bit thinner at the tip of the green. There's also a stem that runs up the center of the hyacinth. I don't want a solid line, so I'm just kind of dabbing that to represent the stem hidden behind some of the flowers. At this point, you may want to go back in and add a few more flowers. So you can see I'm just adding a couple of partial flowers, and I'm overlapping them on the other flowers that are there. That just adds to the dimension on the nail. Here's the finished product, and the finished product with top coat, which really smooths out the design. And here's a close-up just to give you a look at that finished product. You can really see the shimmer on that beautiful polish. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked the video. Please comment, share, subscribe, and thumbs up are always appreciated.